shadows in the deep, where they watch me while I sleep. Don't require your belief, offering silence but no relief. Can you scream without a sound, like the freeze that's coming down? Barren space where nothing grows, a secret place where no one goes.
Chaos Springs Eternal is a Delta Green actual play. Delta Green by its nature deals with violent themes, disturbing imagery, and horrors beyond our comprehension. Now, if you wouldn't mind comprehending some horrors with us, I think you'll have a good time.
Can you feel me in the fog? Pull me from this epilogue. My hands are frozen in the stone. The eyes of corpses have no glow. Made these chains just for myself, rambling about my mental health. Demons on this hazy hill, only my soul is left to kill.
Hello, and welcome back to Chaos Springs Eternal. Guys, this is Season 1, City of Woe.
Whoa, here she comes. She's a vampire.
But more importantly than the fact that it's Season 1, do you guys know this is Episode 69?
Nice.
What the fuck? Let's go.
Amazing!
So we all win, right?
Yep. That's
If any of us fail to roll a 69 once this episode, you have to kill one of us
TPK. Immediate TPK.
Okay,
Joel's been nice. Nice knowing you,
Yeah.
buddy.
It has been nice knowing you guys. Boy, howdy. So, before we get into this episode, I just want to preface this. I've talked a lot about sort of the plan or not the plan, but how this arc was going to be a little bit different, and I hope that it's felt different. We're moving into part 2 of this Dreamlands arc, and we're about to get. I'm going to be upfront. We're about to get very sandboxy. This city is going to be something for you to explore. But before we explore the city, let's go back and think about episode 68. Episode 68 saw y'all as you were running away from the Gug of Wrath, having seen many people killed as it tore its way through the various camps in this giant cavern. And instead, you wound up fighting against some ghasts who were sort of hanging out to ambush you as you fled from the Gug of Wrath. But y'all dispatched them pretty quickly and very handily. You picked up a couple of their spears, so now you have those. And then as you left the cave system, getting out into the dreamland terrain, you eventually found some place that had a little more packed earth. You did talk a little bit to Tholan as you traveled, asking about how do you fight a Gug. And he gave some ideas, finding its true name or what caused it, and maybe undoing that. He mentioned the fire vampires at Inquanok, inspiring Noah's "Whoa, watch out, here she comes." But he said, we've got some ways to protect you, and with the implication that they're not like super common, but they do happen. As you begin to move through the landscape and get to sort of a more packed earth and finding various plant and animal life popping up, I gave you all the opportunity to describe something strange, and I really appreciated all those additions to the Dreamlands that you offered. Marcy's endless hairy centipede that traveled into the horizon, Joel with the trees that grew upside down with roots in the air, and Cyril's pool of light that dripped upwards. Tholan sang a song as you went along, and Joel attempted to accompany him on the Stradivarius, but that did not go too hot. But after some time of traveling, you finally got to Inquanok, where it's sort of rimmed by this big obsidian rock wall, and there was a tall door in the rocks. And as you approached the door, there were two guys out there, looked like knights. They are the guards. I don't remember if I said this, but Tholan might have mentioned that they're the Stone King Sentinels. And after introducing yourself and giving your purpose, they let you in, and you wound up in this strange city. It looks a little bit like I think we just settled on Elizabethan London. So you've got the paved roads, but sort of open air. Different housing environments, but mostly not super developed. but with some interesting sort of modern bits and pieces to it. Like apparently they've got sewage handled, so that's pretty nice. And you get into this you see a map. I think I said it was carved into like a wood thing right in the entrance. And Tholen mentioned that he had a few things to take care of, so he's splitting off to you as you enter the city. On this map you saw various parts of the city, including like a religious area, markets, a government area, those sorts of things. But coming into this town, like I said, this is a very sandboxy environment, and I don't know. How do you guys feel? Like, I have in my mind like maybe there's like a dozen things that I'm like, that is something you could do, right? And then I've got sort of branches for how you could get there, and there are more than one ways that you could get to any one of these things. And I don't necessarily think you have to hit all of them. They're just sort of like, as I've been planning this out, I'm like, okay, these are the sort of dozen like quests that might pop up, but I'm also don't want to be like too video gamey. So I'm curious, like, how do you guys feel about sandbox stuff in TTRPGs? And please don't say you don't like them. Otherwise, I'm going to quit the pod.
I actually really hate them, especially after running Kingmaker.
Yeah. Okay, but to be fair, Kingmaker kind of...
It's hell. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Also, Noah, I would like to say you are currently in the process of setting up Curse of Strahd as a Pathfinder 2nd Edition game. That is a sandbox.
I am, and I'm
epitome.
not. I am, and I'm not. I'm going back and forth on this.
You should not.
Are you mixing it with Iron Gods?
There is a vampire lord in Numeria.
Fucking tempt him.
There is a vampire lord in Numeria. That is all I can confirm at this moment.
Anywho,
no further questions.
I really like sandboxes. I think so. I guess I should clarify. Like my home game when I'm not doing Curse of Strahd is very much a sandbox in a massive city. So I kind of have a predisposition to really like the crazy kind of urban shenanigans you can get into in a fantasy setting. So I am so excited for this.
Joke aside, I really do enjoy a sandbox when the system supports it and when the people involved are like handling it well.
Couldn't you say that about most tabletop RPGs though?
Yeah. So you like when things are done well?
I know, big surprise there.
Wait, you don't like poorly produced and
you don't like
shoddily
terrible things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just hear the crumpling of paper from Dan's mind.
I like good stuff and I don't like bad stuff. That's a bold statement.
Yeah. Bold statements only.
Listen, after running PF2E's Hexploration rules, it leaves a lot to be desired for, if I'm being frank. Like, Dragonbane's shit, Forbidden Land shit, that's a good step in the right direction, but like, I'm waiting to find something better.
That's fair.
I love the sandbox.
Yeah.
It's my favorite.
I know. I like, honestly, I'm so jealous. I wish that we had thoroughly recorded some of those early sessions with you. Because that whole mystery, that city, those characters, they were so fun. And
we could do it again.
That sandbox was good. Yes, we should.
Also, the listeners then could have heard me try to seduce Mark.
And it worked. On
It
episode
worked.
69, we finally made it happen.
Also, with the episode 69 thing, I just want to say, if you want to count the episodes of Chaos Sprung a Leak, technically, episode 63, Rub-a-Dub-Dub, Cyril's in a Tub, is the 69th episode, and we did roll a 69.
Okay, all right. So we're...
Okay, Matthew.
Okay, all right. You know what? Technically
First off,
correct.
fuck you. That's my brother's name. You can't call me that. Second off...
Okay, Matthew. That's good.
Technically correct. So
The thing I would want most from Mark's recorded game was that fucking NPC you had just singing Smash, or just cryptically mumbling Smash Mouth quotes at me. And you had me for a good, like, 5 lines writing down these obscure riddles, like, what does it mean?
I think it was by, like, the third line I went, you fucker.
Yeah.
Just immediately.
His name was Smash Mouth, so...
Name was Smash Mouth.
all right. So just a real quick reminder, Inquanok is surrounded by this giant sort of obsidian stone wall. It's it definitely doesn't seem natural, but it would be incredibly convenient for a giant circle of basalt to just, or not basalt, but did I describe it as basalt? I think I meant obsidian. I'm a geologist, so I'm very disappointed in myself if I ever described it as basalt, but I meant obsidian. Shiny black stone, and the paved roads and everything. This is the thing that I don't know about sandboxes. Maybe I should commission a map of this. But I think I described it as the whole city is sort of broken out into these general sections, but there's plenty of overlap, and it's not when you cross this road, now you're in the mercantile district and there's no houses, right? There's some markets that are, surrounded by housing and, restaurant, I guess not restaurants, but pubs, places you would eat, right? Those sorts of things. And so it is a full-fledged town. And if there's some place that you want to go or see, just tell me what you want to see and we can make that happen. Tholen has left you to some unscrutable purpose that you have not. If you did ask him, he does not. He's not forthcoming.
That motherfucker going to a titty bar.
Yeah,
He
for
needs
sure.
it.
But I'm curious. What would you? I mean, the thing that you want to do, right? If there's one thing that if you're speed running, what you need to do is you need to get a map, right? The map to the Isle of Sighs. And Tholen mentioned that he knows someone who might be able to do that for you. So you can, obviously, Tholen having left you, I don't know, did he mention the name? The fact that none of you are responding tells me that no, he did not, which is fine.
I was looking at my notes. I don't think he did.
Yeah. I don't think he would have either. He's got his own purposes, so. But being in town, right? This is the part that I don't like is now what do you guys want to do? You want to find the map? Well, then you got to wait for Tholen. I would say or you could go try and find someone else who knows about the map, right? You could always do that. But I would need your input to say, oh, we want to go here and try and find somebody.
About what time of day is it? That's the first I'm going to ask.
Yeah, time is a little strange here. You feel like after having woken up this morning, you maybe spend an hour getting out of the caves, another hour, maybe two. So you're in what you would assume is maybe early afternoon, noon to early afternoon.
Okay.
But the way the sun hangs and the lights in the sky, it's really difficult to tell sort of time.
If I look at my watch, is it weird?
Your watch does not give it's hard to read.
It's going counterclockwise.
Yeah, you get a little headache when you stare at your watch.
I, for one, would like to go to the Whispering Dais of the Shattered Echoes.
Okay,
Did you just roll a random?
Did you guys check?
He told me I could do anything was possible in the city. That is where I would like to go. The Whispering Dais of Shattered Echoes.
Mark's really abusing the wording on this. Legalese is in his blood.
All right, what is a dais?
What's a dais?
Dais is a raised platform. Oh, it's
highest, but for dyslexic people.
Yeah. Okay, you want to go to the dais? So looking at the map, you see that there's one place that is labeled as the Obsidian Gardens, and it looks like more of a park area. It's a little bit on the north. Looking up, assuming that north is up on the map, although you don't have a compass, so you don't know how north works. But it would be in the northeast portion of the city, and looking at the map, the you are here is on the south portion of the city, so almost as far away through the city as you can get. Is the Obsidian Gardens, and it has a little thing that's. Hang on, let me add this to my notes. What's it called again?
Something of the dais of the Shattered Echoes. The Whispering Dais of the Shattered Echoes.
Okay, you want to go there?
It's I love that we rolled up and Mark says, I want to go to this thing. this obscure thing, like you would walk into your friend's hometown and be like, y'all got a Waffle House around here? I could go for a Waffle House right
I
now.
want a Waffle House.
Every tourist who comes to Inquanok for the first time goes to the Whispering Dais of Shattered Echoes.
It's
There's a whole.
Oh, you haven't been to the Whispering Dais? Oh, you gotta go. You gotta go. It's one of those things you live in Inquanok your whole life and you never gotta go.
It's the best.
I can't wait for a ghoul to sell me his mixtape.
Turns around to the person next to him, don't even know who they are. This fucking guy ain't even been to the fucking Whispering Echoes.
You live here your whole life and you've never been to the Whispering Dais of the Shattered Echoes.
No, so I mean, you see it, and if that piques your interest, you can begin walking. No.
We gonna split up, or we gonna meet up, or what are we gonna do with ourselves here? We need to. I mean, do we have to stay together, or do you guys want to split up?
Do you think splitting up is a good idea in this place?
I don't
Marcy
know.
makes a face at that.
It seems pretty cosmopolitan. I mean, there's people here, right? And I mean, if the murdering, what was it, Gug comes after us, at least we'd be separated.
I'll be real. I think the fact that there are people here scares me more than if there's not.
You
know? And there are people. They're not like, no, it's not like a bustling crowd, but there are people who are sort of walking down the street, cross streets, coming out of their houses, going into their houses, that sort of thing.
I'm curious. I'm curious about the Whispering Dais. I'm curious about a lot of things. I'd love to see if there's some trades that we can make. I'd love to find me a camera.
Ooh, well, right next to the Obsidian Gardens, which houses the Whispering Dais, is the Twilight Bazaar, which looks to be like sort of a mercantile district. That's sort of in the most northern section.
Tell you guys what, Marcy, do you have a place you want to go?
I'm gonna see if I can find some what passes for a scholarly house or a library here, and see if I can dredge up anything.
Okay, well, you see in the governmental district, you see something called the Tower of Knowing, which looks to be like it's drawn as like a spiral building, and it's right next to the Stone King's Hall, which is sort of the most prominent building on this map, which is drawn like a ziggurat. So right next to the Stone King's Hall is the Tower of Knowing, and they're roughly central, but they appear to be, the Stone King's Hall is on the north side of sort of the center, and the Tower of Knowing is on the south side of the center of the map. But they appear to be pretty important things, and you would assume the Tower of Knowing might have something like a library.
I guess I'm going there, and she just points over at that place.
All right.
Okay.
Marcy, you want to go to your book learning, and Cyril, you want to go to the most ominous sounding place I've ever heard in my entire life. I'm going to go find us a room to stay in, and then I'm going to go and try and find a cartographer while you guys do that.
That's a really good plan. A place to sleep would be phenomenal to set up.
Okay, now I got to figure out what that place is called. No, there's just like there's what's a good like English pub, like that might house people, but is got a little bit of a dreamland twist to it. How about the
Sleepy Time Inn?
The soft slabs.
Sleepy Time Inn. Well, how old are we?
It's called the Pearl and Dagger.
Mm-hmm.
And that is
sounds kinky.
It's got the board hung up outside, and it's got a little tavern style base, and then looks to have a few rooms. That's near the entrance, right? And seems to be sort of trying to attract the most business. So as Joel walks down, you see the Pearl and Dagger, and like I said, it's got a board out. And so ducking in, I assume, you see In the tavern part of the bottom, there's a few tables laid out. It's very couple long tables laid out. There's a handful of people who are there drinking, counting money, looking at various objects that they have. A few people reading, a few people just sort of like sleeping on the table, and every once in a while, there's one guy who's out serving drinks, refreshing. Looks like he's serving beer and refreshing coffee. And every once in a while, you see a few plates and stuff that he will either lay down some food in front of someone or pick up a plate that someone is done with. Collecting money, making change, that sort of stuff. And behind the bar stands a woman who is exceptionally tall with long braided hair, and she hails you as you enter, and she says, "Oh, hello. Welcome to the Pearl and Dagger. I'm Pearl, and that's Dagger." She points at the guy walking around, and he nods at you and grunts. And she says, "Are you looking for a bite to eat? Place to stay? A little bit of both?"
A little bit both, actually. By the way, I understand the naming convention of you, but why is your friend called Dagger?
And he looks up at you. He's got short cropped hair, with a badly trimmed goatee and a scar over his left eye. And he just kind of smiles, and then it turns into a scowl. And he says, "That's just what they call me."
Right. Okay. So, yes, good to meet both of you. I'm so glad for your hospitality. Yes, I'm actually, I have a couple of friends here with me that we're looking for, a place to stay out of the rain or whatever else might come down. And, honestly, I'm starving. I ate a grub and a can of baked beans that weren't even cooked earlier. I just need something warm.
That's a rare treat around these parts. We've got some potato soup that we could get you a bowl of, and of course we can put you up. Is it just you, or how many are in your party?
There's gonna be 3 of us staying here.
Okay, 3 of you. And she takes like a little notepad, and she's like, "Okay, and how many beds would you need? 1 big bed, or 3 small beds, or 1 big bed and 1 smaller bed?"
On the big bed.
2 beds.
2 beds. Okay. She says, "Good. We've got a room with 2 beds. And I can put you up there." And she says, "We do need a little, down payment. Do you have? You look no offense." And she looks you up and
Destitute.
down. And she says, "Well, new to this world. Interesting that you found your way here. We don't normally get new people. They tend to wear themselves out in the wilderness." But she's wearing, sort of a what you would expect from sort of a barmaid type of, high-necked, long woolen top with like a plaid dress over it. And she looks you up and down, and I don't know if are you wearing jeans, khakis?
Yeah, I think he's just wearing what he would normally wear. So he just has like his jeans with like the hole in one knee, and he has like just like a flannel shirt or like a button-up shirt with nothing under it, like half buttoned up, sleeves rolled up.
Yeah, and looking around, the people, the way that they're dressed, I mean, there's 1 or 2 people who like would not look out of place in Carrefour. They appear to be wearing kind of like like a t-shirt and slacks. Maybe like a khaki, more like duck canvas type of slacks. But there's a lot of people who are dressed in sort of the more woolen pants and like loose top type of thing, like that you would see in. I'm thinking of Owen Wilson in not Owen Wilson. Oh my gosh, A Knight's Tale. What's his bucket? Keith Ledger.
Heath Ledger.
Yeah. Boy,
was that was a weird mix-up or something like that.
That sounds right.
Anyway.
I don't know. It's been a while since I watched A Knight's Tale. I need to rewatch that one. Good movie. But but point being that there's not a consistent fashion, but it sort of ranges from mostly familiar to pretty dated, based off your judgment. And she says, so being new, you may not have any currency. But we would take a down payment of anything that perhaps you could put a deposit that you could get back after maybe earning a little coin around town, and then you could pay off your debt. If you have anything of value that might be worth at least a trade, accepting the money in kind. And it's a good thing you came to the Pearl and Dagger, because not every one of these cities' establishments is quite so generous.
Yeah, actually, that was one of my important questions, was how much it was going to cost. But I mean, if you're able to put something down, I think Joel thinks for a second. He still, where's the spear that he has that he picked up from
if you're carrying it with you, you can have it.
Okay, I wasn't sure like if they took it at the door or anything like that. So
nope.
Okay. Joel will say
they didn't even like search stolen stuff. They just were kind of checking on y'all.
Joel will say, okay. So I have a weapon on me that I can have you hold
Someone
on
says,
to.
he's got a gun, and then starts shooting. No, go ahead.
And then I started blasting.
No, he's
We
like,
need to call our third friend Blaster.
Blaster. Pearl, Dagger, and Blaster.
Yeah.
He comes out, he's like a, early 1900s gangster Tommy gun. Wise guy, eh?
Rattle.
Joel will say, I have a weapon I don't think I'm gonna, hopefully need around here, for a little bit. I'd be willing to trade that until I'm able to get, a couple coins to rub together.
Oh, yes. That sounds like a perfectly fair deposit. You look like a trusting one, and I'll be honest. Dagger could find you if you did try and skip out on anything. And he looks at you and he's like, I could find you. She says, Dagger, please, you can't intimidate our customers. He says, I'm just saying I could. Okay, Dagger, they all get it. Very nice. He kind of grumbles and gets back to sweeping up the corner that is a little dirty.
Joel just watching him. I bet he could. And he'll, reach, into the back of his waistline, and he'll lock the slide open, hand it to her.
She says, oh, interesting. I haven't seen a gun in a couple years now. These are pretty rare.
I'm glad that I can make your day, at the very least. Anyways, I do have a couple of questions for you, aside from, room and board and stuff. One, I'm looking for a cartographer. Would you perchance know one around here that I might be able to go bug?
Well, if it's a map you're looking for, the sages are the only ones who make maps around here. They're housed in the Tower of Knowing. You may have seen it on the map. It's towards the center of town. Big spiral building. Can't miss it. But if you don't mind me asking, what are you looking for a map for? You're already here. And this is most people's final destination.
I'm... Pearl, can you keep a secret?
And she says, oh, wait. Of course
Oh,
I'll keep a secret. And she leans in close.
I'll eye her real quick, like real close. Kind of getting closer so that Dagger cannot hear for a second, hopefully. I have a suspicion that my sister may be around here somewhere, and, just being able to have the map, the lay of the land, will make it easier getting back here when we need to. If we have to go anywhere outside of the walls of Inquanok, go past the... By the way, this place is sick. I love the getup, the whole like medieval like fantasy thing. Like this is crazy.
She touches her finger to the nose and she says, I understand. Family is important. And yeah, if you want to find your way back to Inquanok, it's important to know.
Actually, you're probably a good person to ask. Have you seen girl? She's a couple years younger than me, similar facial structure, less attractive, longer hair. Like describes Clem as best he can. Just shooting the shit with her at the same time.
She says, you know, I'm not certain. I there was a group who came through, just a little while ago, but they never actually made it to Inquanok. There was supposed to be a caravan coming through, and they were carrying something pretty important from what I hear. It caused a little bit of a hubbub around the marketplace. People were pretty disappointed, but I don't know. The caravan never made it, and no one knows what happened to them. Has she been in the Dreamlands for long?
I wish I could tell you. I don't know. I have a friend back home that thinks she's been here for maybe a week.
Well, if she got in with the caravan, she may still be with them then. But a week in the Dreamlands is enough time to go many places. She could have, if she was real smart, and she didn't know, she could have put in with the Pirate Queen.
Is this in Pirate Queen in the Isle of Size? The Isle of Size?
When you say that, like, you noticed a handful of heads turn from the room around, even if you're having like a hushed conversation still. She says, yes, Pirate Queen, she's just been, well, listen. And she says, not all women in the Dreamlands have the advantages that I do. And she points to Dagger, and she's like, Dagger takes care of me, keeps things running smoothly, and and so women in the Dreamlands, if they're wise and they don't have, if they're not strong themselves and don't have at least a good older brother to protect them, they might find their way to the Pirate Queen's place. Now, obviously, I don't need it, but lots of women do. Heck, the caravan might have headed there after here, but they never made it here, so couldn't say.
Good to know. Actually, yeah, she might. That sounds like the place she would try to get to. Is she kind of like a Voldemort situation? Am I not supposed to say her name around here?
No, it's just that where she lives is well, again, I assume that if you've heard of her before, then I think that maybe that's the map you're looking for. And it turns out that the Dreamlands, not everything sticks to one place. And the place where she lives, it's probably a silly rumor because not a lot of people go there. But it's said that the more that you name it, the harder it is to get there, and so that's why you need a map, and to maybe keep it a little hush hush. So anyone who's sort of talking cavalierly about it, first off, it's already pretty hard to find from what I hear. The location is maybe not pinned down, and so maybe that ties into it. I don't know. There's a lot of strange things. I don't know if you've noticed. This is not like, the world, right? Some of us came here because we chose to, and some of us came here just kind of wound up here. And after a little while, you just forget how to get back to the other side. And so you kind of get used to the oddness, but that place is a little extra odd, and it's hard to say why.
Good to know. I appreciate it. Okay, so my other question is, you seem to know a little bit about my world, at least from the references I've made, and you've been able to keep up. I'm from a band. I'm a member of a band, and so I can sing a little, mostly play instruments. Do you know of a place where I might be able to make a couple of bucks here and there to pay for this with those abilities?
She says, well, of course, we we would love to have some music here. I would remit some of your bill if you serenaded us in the evening. Usually we draw a larger crowd for dinner. I would love to have some music then. There are a number of other taverns that might also perform. Of course, you could always head out to the Twilight Bazaar, and there's a number of people who do sort of live performances around there, and you could busk for some money.
Excellent. Okay, well, Pearl, you've been so kind and so forthright, and I appreciate that. We have not met anyone so just straight and narrow like this. Dagger, keep it up. You're scaring me. I like the vibe. I'll see you guys later.
Pearl smiles and says, "Well, of course we'll hold your room." And Dagger, grunts and nods as you head out. All right. In the meantime, Mark, Cyril, it's a pretty long walk to the Obsidian Gardens. That's still what you got on your mind?
Yeah, I think I would head over there. I would also, on my way there, be keeping an eye out for, how do I put this? Kind of the dregs of society. Like if there are people skulking around, or if there's homeless or things of that nature.
Yeah, so there are some people who occasionally, on a corner, will have they're essentially just, you see one or two of them on your walk who are just sitting on the corner and they're holding out a cup, and you see that there's a few random odds and ends, like a couple coins or maybe small little relic type thing that are in the cups, but they're just sort of sitting there, and every once in a while you might see a person fetch a coin from their pocket and add it to there. You do notice as you walk through the streets, occasionally there are statues of these robed figures that look a little bit like the guards who were standing out in front of the town, but these statues are faceless, with sort of long robes reaching down, and they're standing on these they have a base to the statue that they're standing on.
Okay,
it's not too hard to navigate. The streets are not super winding; they're relatively straight, and you can make your way there. It is a bit of a walk, but it's not so much that you're it's not nighttime by the time you get there, right? It's a little ways, right. But having split off from the group, you find yourself in the Obsidian Gardens, which is a big park that's sort of as you enter, there are taller trees that are sort of dark wood with these long drooping branches that are a little bit like weeping willows. But they have these flower buds on them, but they are all currently closed. And they are tall enough and thick enough that at parts as you walk through, it goes from sort of this daytime feel to more of almost nighttime. And the darker that it is, as you walk into maybe some of those patches, some of these flowers do seem to open and bloom in them darkest patches. There are benches. There's there are occasional ponds. A handful. There's one major river that is crossed several times by bridges as you enter, and there are people who are just sort of walking around. There's stuff there's a few sort of almost shuffleboard looking games. That there's a handful of people just sort of gather around playing. And they've got various tables and almost like picnic areas. So there are people, families around all throughout the park. So it's not bustling, but it is not empty. There are occasional signposts that point you deeper into the Whispering Dais of Shattered Echoes.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, as you enter, there's a the atmosphere is thicker than the rest of the city. It's quieter. You can hear the sound of moving water, almost like bubbling.
Yeah, I think Cyril would move on in through the park and go find this Dais. Yeah.
So at the dais, you find a it is a square, a square of well, no, it's not a square. It is more of like a circular pillar, and it's about 2.5 feet tall by about 4 feet wide, and it is rimmed by this metal band, and it looks like someone just took like the world's largest hammer and just cracked it right on top. And so the band is keeping everything together on this dais, and occasionally you see someone step up, and I mean it's pretty tall, so they have to like almost like lift themselves up as they get onto it. And they stand up, and they sort of peek over behind the dais. There's another like wall of stone, and they peek over this wall, and it's the wall goes back. It sort of goes out and back a little ways, and it looks like there's maybe some gap at the top, and then there's another. So it's like a square. It's like a stone square behind the dais, right? Mm-hmm. And you see them as they sort of peek over this. They are they begin to like mouth a whisper, and then they sort of settle back onto their feet and stand as if waiting for something. And then maybe after a minute or two, they step back down. And you can make a roll, like a psychology roll or a hument roll.
Okay, let's do hument.
Okay,
Success.
so even these people, as they do this, you see them as they step up. They are looking with sort of an excited, hopeful anticipation. And then as they sort of step back down, maybe after a couple minutes of waiting, there's like a little bit of a disappointment, but not necessarily like a discouragement.
Now, are these like adults? Are these kids? Are these?
It's everybody,
like all ages.
Yeah. There's lots of people who are doing this.
Okay, I would walk up to one of them, maybe one that's come off of the dais itself, and be like, "Hi, hello, my name's Cyril. I'm new here. What is this thing that y'all are doing?"
The man steps down and he says, "Oh, hello, Cyril. My name's Jeff. You must be new here. If this is strange to you."
Yes, I've never seen what is happening on this dais. So, what is the purpose of getting up there?
Well, have you ever lost someone?
Yeah, I have.
Yes. Well, rumor or tradition has it that one can climb the Whispering Dais and whisper over, and they'll hear the echoes of someone they lost. That's
so
it's a little bit of a tradition.
Ah, interesting. Is there any price that must be paid, or you got to whisper something?
Just whisper what you'd like to tell them. That's all you need to do.
Interesting. All right. Well, I appreciate you, Jeff. Take helping a fellow traveler out here. I'm much obliged.
Of course. And welcome to Inquanok. It's
Thank you. You know any good like pubs or bars in town that'd be welcoming to a weary traveler?
Oh, there's lots of great places. Just make sure to stay away from the Pearl and Dagger. Real tourist trap.
Okay, will do.
No. There are many fine places. Inquanok is a bit of a refuge for all of us Dreamlands are a difficult place, and this,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest, this is the most order that you can get. And if you found yourself here, then you'll need some of that order.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. And then he will see if anyone's getting on the dais or not.
There's a short line, but it's sort of it goes pretty quickly. So if you're interested in doing it, you can get up there.
Yeah, I'll wait in line for it.
Okay.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah, of course.
This spear that I got, is it just like a wooden spear? Does it have an
it's
edge
like a
to
dense. It's like a dense spear. It does have. It comes to a point. I think we made a joke about that, but
Yeah. Okay.
it
I
doesn't
couldn't
have any,
remember if it was
embedded
like
metal
had like an
or anything.
obsidian
No.
tip or something like that on it.
No, it just seems to be like a fire, fire hardened wood.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, he'll wait in line till he can get up there.
A couple people go in front of you, and then you're able to step up. And as you get to the sort of the stone wall behind it, if you tiptoe up, because that seems to be what everyone does, and occasionally, for younger people or shorter people, they're able to there are steps onto the wall that you can step onto, and get up there. I don't think Cyril would need to. He would need to get on his tiptoes just a little bit.
Okay.
And you can do that, and you can whisper something. But I want to tell you, as you peek over this stone wall and see into the sort of stone square, you see in this stone walled square, the back of the stone wall, so like the wall that's facing you, if that makes any sense. Basically, the wall that is not the one that you're touching now. It's across from that. On the inside, there's a mosaic, and it has a few panels in it that, the first panel is like an empty, there's like mountains, but like an empty plain. The second panel shows like a big rimmed city. You assume Inquanok. The third panel appears to be like in some sort of cave or cavern, and you see someone holding like maybe a torch. And these are all painted. And then in the fourth panel, you see that person that is holding the torch now facing some sort of giant monster. And then in the final panel, it is incomplete, but underneath it, it says, "The shadow shall feast upon the light." But the actual artistic panel is not finished, and then none of the other panels have anything under them, text wise.
Okay. All right. So he'll take all that in, and so I guess now I whisper something, hoping to hear the echo of someone. So Cyril will get up on his tiptoes, and he will whisper into the chamber, "To the souls that I have taken and now own, give me power."
Ooh. Okay, give me an occult roll.
Success. 16 under 48.
Okay. And you said "do thee," or did you say "to thee"?
To the souls that I own, give me power.
As you listen, seeing the panel, as you whisper, it's almost like you see a faint outline in the final panel, where you've got the second to last panel is of this person with the torch appearing to be consumed by this creature. In the final panel, it's like you can see just the outline of the person having erupted from this monster that had consumed them, raising the torch triumphantly, and you hear a whisper that says,
Power comes from those you love. Power only wins when used properly. The souls you've taken are not the ones you love.
Then
and I think, I think
go ahead.
what you've seen sort of almost etched in this final panel, sort of washes out, right? Like, it almost like it was in pencil and someone just went and erased it all. It was faint to begin with, and now it's faded.
Okay. So he'll pull back from the little alcove or whatever, and he'll turn around on the dais and kind of step down. And the only thing that he can think of, the people that he loves, if they're the key to power, he just whispers, Marcy and Joel, and walks out of the garden.
Oh man. What did I just do? Okay.
Good luck.
Marcy, as you you were heading to the Tower of Knowing, right? And so for a little while, you and Cyril are in the sort of lockstep, and it's not until you reach the Tower of Knowing that Cyril splits off to go head to the gardens. As you approach the Tower of Knowing, before you can enter, there's a strange man who approaches you, and he has these sort of tattered robes of maroon and coal black. He has a gaunt face that is almost completely hidden behind the heavy hood of his mantle, and as he approaches you, he sort of drops the hood back, and you see that he has he looks to have left sanity several states behind. He's got this pallid skin stretched over sharp cheekbones, a narrow jaw. His lips are cracked and dry, and his eyes, one you notice is a dull faded gray, and the other is a deep inky black. He carries a staff of petrified wood that is like carved with these unknown runes. And as you see him, he looks at you and he says, "Oh, I see you new to town. I am Yathro, the Dusk Priest. Welcome to Inquanok. This is a good place to be, a strange time to be here. You are here at the most fortuitous time. It's good that you're here, though. This might be the only place that's safe from the Gug of Wrath."
We have just fled from another settlement that came under siege by the Gug of Wrath, if that's what its name is.
That's what it's known as. It's not its true name, but Gug of Wrath is well, no one here knows it's coming yet, but those who know. And like as he talks, his skin stretches. I mean, it's like paper thin skin to the point where you can almost see, muscle moving under it. And he has this like thin white hair that is pulled back into like a almost like a ponytail, but he's got the longer hair on it under it too. So he's got the ponytail with the long hair. And he says, "You've seen it, huh? It's quite large and strange. Well, no one who has seen it has come to Inquanok yet, but I've seen it. I've seen many things. You are here," and he takes his staff and he kind of like pokes you with it. He says, "You are here for a reason."
Hey.
Yes. What What reason are you here for? I've not seen you in my visions, but...
Well, if you keep poking me with that thing, I'm not going to tell you shit.
That's fine, that's fine. Don't tell Yathro, but I'll find out. The Dusk Priest learns in time. No rush. And as he sort of steps back, you notice under his flowing robes, you see that he has this like necklace that has bits of metal, some shards of obsidian, and right at the center, there's a single like overly large yellowed tooth. And he holds the tooth and he's like, I would not want this to be yours. This is what happens to those who ignore my warnings. Not a threat. I had to retrieve this off the body of someone who didn't listen to Yathro.
I see. My compatriots and I are here to find... Well, we didn't intend on coming to the Dreamlands, but we are here nonetheless, and while we're here, we're trying to find a sibling to one of our compatriots.
Finding someone in the Dreamlands can be difficult. But,
yeah.
You've come to the
We've
right
got some
place
leads,
if you were
though.
trying to. Oh, good. Good leads, yes. Those are important. There's... if you want something in the Dreamlands, Inquanok is the place to get it. It's the hub of the world. There's no other city quite as big or impressive or... And he, like, rolls his hand as if he's trying to come up with a word. But Inquanok will have hard times too. Yes, I give my warnings not for my own sake. I've seen what's going to come. I know what happens. It's not to say it can't change, but they almost never do.
What do you think is going to happen?
He says, I can't tell you. That would
Spoilers.
That would be my undoing. Yes, no, the Dusk Priest. It's cursed with knowing, never telling. If you don't believe me, that's fine. But again, heeded warnings and all that.
Well, what warnings do you have, Yathril?
You've seen the Gug of Wrath.
We've run from it.
Well, you might have run for now, but someone will have to face it.
We have something that can help us avoid it, I think.
Well, that might be good. And I think about this time would be if Joel was looking for the map making, he would have been pointed towards the Tower of Knowledge, the Tower of Knowing, rather. And so Joel might, after his interaction with Pearl and Dagger, come upon Marcy now, and I think that is where we're gonna end it for this week, with Joel approaching Marcy, talking with the
Dusk Priest.
The Dusk Priest.
Oh, hi, Mars.
I hate
hey,
you
Mars.
for that. I hate you for that. God.
Thank you once again for tuning in to Chaos Springs Eternal, a Delta Green podcast. Shout out to Arc Dream Publishing, who makes Delta Green. They've got lots of great content coming out. Shout out to Ponzer Kings for Cocytus, that's our theme song. And shout out to Hideous Hiss for our background music. Make sure you check our show notes. I've linked Hideous Hiss Patreon if you'd like to contribute. If you'd like to contribute to Chaos Springs Eternal, you can rate and review us on iTunes or your podcast platform of choice. Leave us a 5-star review. Send us an email. We've got an email in the show notes, and with an NPC idea, and we'll toss them into our homebrewed campaign. My name is Jared. Good to meet you.
From
What, is
Subway.
Jared a bad
No.
name?
Yet Jared from Subway is a
From
predator.
Subway?
Oh, no, not from Subway. No,
Jared from the Whispering Dais of Shattered Echoes.
It is just Jared from
Jared,
Subway, though. Yeah, after the trial, I gotta say here.
I went to
God.
Jared.
Well, cutting this all out. This is no. Let me get him into. Oh, hello,
I'm
Cyril.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Gosh.
See them ghoul titties.